Shut up and sit down.
Do it.
Let's jump into it.
Let's get it going. Pigskin pricks, here we go. We're closing in on the end of the season, sort of, kind of. We got a few weeks left, but we're here. We're pretty close. We've made it this far. Isn't that amazing?
Amen.
So, what's on the beer menu tonight, boys? I know you got something special. I would hope.
Man.
Joe's hitting it heavier. He already looks better than he did last week, so I think he's getting. He's got fucking a whiskey shooter to go with his beer.
I actually do not. I actually found something from Scottsbluff, Nebraska.
Nice.
Went local. You know what? I actually bought this because of the can, and I do that a lot. Like I'll see a can, I'll be like, that just kicks ass.
That's the way to do it.
So this one is called Hellcat Hells.
I love that can.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
If you guys can see it.
Yeah.
Got the pinup art.
Yep.
Sweet.
Yep. Okay. So this is it's a traditional German golden lager. Okay. I have not had this. I like German lagers.
Sure.
This actually though has, and I've never heard of this, it has noble hops in it. So maybe that's a different kind of hops or whatnot. So I'm really curious to taste this because generally lagers are not hoppy.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Sam Adams uses noble hops. Ev,
That's possible.
You should know this because you have somebody. Don't you have somebody that's involved in?
I have somebody who works for Sam Adams.
I'm going to look it up real quick while you're going. I'm going to see.
That would be this is my first time. I have not tasted this, but this is going to be my first time. But I'm excited to drink it. Yeah, super delicious. It does not taste hoppy at all. Like you wouldn't think that this is a hoppy beer. There's hops in it. But you know what? If you drink a Sam Adams, if John is right, they don't taste hoppy either. So
well, the Boston Ale is, and it's uses East Kent Goldings and Fugel hops. So I'm looking.
Okay, well maybe you're wrong, but whatever noble hops are, it doesn't taste like an IPA or anything.
Oh well, it's a word they use. So
it's a what?
So there's a hops called Utopias, and that's a beer they have, and it's Utopias is made with caramel, Vienna, Moravian, and Bavarian smoked malts, and 4 variety of noble hops.
Okay. Yeah, this really tastes like a German beer, where you go in and you grab a pint. It really tastes like that. And actually, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they drink this lukewarm or room temperature. Like if I was to go to Germany and sit down in a pub, I'm pretty sure they don't drink this cold.
Oh, okay.
At least that's what I've read. So if there's any Germans that are listening to this show, I would love for you to write in and tell me if that is absolutely the case, because I do not like room temperature beer. John and I have discussed this. But this is great. I'll score this an 8.75.
Ooh, pretty good.
Yeah,
that's real good.
That's really good. So what I would tell you is I don't know that they would say if it's like England, it's not quite room temperature, but it's more like cellar temperature, which might be 50 degrees, 60 degrees.
Okay, so it's cool.
It's cool, but it's not cold. It's not what we consider cold.
No, right.
But anyway, that's my belief, but maybe they're different than the English and they go really warm. I don't know. I mean, they're Germans. You never know what they do. Mm-hmm. Nice. I'm interested in that beer. I like the can. It reminds me kind of the one I did last week. That was pretty good, even though it was just a basic beer. So I'm doing what I told you guys I was going to do sooner or later. Hershey's chocolate porter.
Okay. You showed us that.
I showed it to you because it was my backup in case I had a different one. So what I can tell you is, just smelling it, it smells like Hershey syrup that you pour in your chocolate milk. I mean, and beer. And I'm going to taste it, but I've already had one, and it tastes like Hershey syrup in your beer. And I like it because it's a, heavier. Well, it's not. Yingling's not a heavy beer.
I'm curious of the color of it.
Oh, I didn't show you. Look at that. Does it not look like chocolate beer?
It looks like it looks like chocolate syrup that would go in ice cream.
Oh man, it has that.
Have you had that before? Or
yeah, I did, and it was so good. No, this is my second.
Okay, all right.
And I think it's my only one left because like Lindsay, my daughter, and Diana were out shopping and they bought like a mixed 6-pack and got 2 of each. I only got 2. When you make chocolate milk with Hershey's chocolate and it has that first taste is kind of like a bittersweet, chocolatey flavor.
Yeah.
It's very specific to Hershey's chocolate, like that you use, not like a chocolate bar. Their syrup, it has a little different flavor. Man, it has that taste right away, just like it. It's so fucking good. Unless you hate chocolate, Joe, or you're allergic to it. But I know you've had some milk chocolate in your life.
I have. I know. I've had Hershey's syrup before. So.
God damn. You think I like it? I don't know.
I was gonna say, yeah.
It's fucking great.
Well,
it's like dessert. It's a dessert
score.
beer. It is so fucking good. Now, it's not your everyday drinker after you mow the lawn. Don't do that because it's going to taste good, but it's not going to go down thin. Fuck, I was going to give it a 9. It's that good. It's really good. And I like Yingling anyway, but you couldn't even you wouldn't even know what beer it is behind the scenes because it's just all it does is support this chocolatey great flavor that it has. That's I mean, whatever beer it is.
Yeah. Well,
it might be the bad batches that they throw chocolate in and go, and now it's wonderful.
Well, I would say 2 fantastic beers.
Oh, dude, yeah,
for sure.
Your design's cooler, other than unless you just like Hershey's, but they do say porter, so I guess it's not.
I'm going to put it up there one more time for anybody.
I wish you didn't have so much reflection because that's such a great.
I know. I wish
it's a little fuzzy because of the reflection, but just knowing that it's a pinup with a fucking cool.
It is
American fighter on it.
Yeah. It's just I saw it and I was, but then I read it too and I'm like, well, Scotts Bluff, I really like to highlight local beers because
I love that.
Yeah. It's like, why not? I mean, I don't even know if you can get this anywhere else. It's possible, I suppose, but you guys realize that if we ever get together in Nebraska, we're just going to have to go try all these beers.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, we're just going to have to, taste this shit. Oh yeah, we're drunk. We'll make our bets before we actually go drink because
Yingling's in Pottsville, Pennsylvania. So
I would have guessed Pennsylvania,
right?
With
Hershey's, but you never know, right? So,
all right, let's get on to the picks, boys.
Let's do it. Let's see the board.
Right. I'm gonna share out the screen here.
Cool.
Very interesting week last week. To say the
least. Are you shitting me?
Hey! Don't get ahead of yourselves, dude. This week was it was crazy.
Fucking crazy.
Why? Where's my play button? I don't know.
This is what happens when I take a chance.
Yep, this is what happens.
This is what happens. 45-0 shellacking.
Yeah,
is what happens.
I was really glad that the Patriots supported my picking them. I would have never thought it was going to be this far.
No,
I would have thought it was going to be.
I thought it was
going to be a battle, right? And they pulled it out because they're just a superior coach.
Well, the defense and special teams won the game. It's like okay,
they were phenomenal.
But you know what?
Shellacking, even before you get too deep there. How about? I mean, I hate to say it, but the Titans were getting their asses completely handed to them. I was very embarrassed for picking them. And then they proved that they don't have to use Derrick Henry because they started passing that ball.
That's absolutely not true because they started playing prevent defense. They gave them 14 points at the end of the game.
They had to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, John. The Browns were so far ahead. They backed up and they said, okay, Mr. Brown, we're going to give you 20 yards because it doesn't matter if your score. We kicked your ass so bad that we're just going to give you points.
Yeah.
Look, the Browns, if you didn't think they were for real,
I'm
telling you right now, they are. I would even say the jury's still out on the Browns only because their remaining schedule.
That is true. We
need to did a really good job of shitting the bed. In that first half of the game was terrible. And all I'm going to say is, like you said, the Browns are good. But this is like saying that Washington Redskins are for real because they beat the only undefeated team in the division that killed the Browns, which was Pittsburgh. So that's not a real accurate statement. This was a game. They had a really great game. There's no denying that. They played exceptionally well. Tennessee is still the division leader.
Dude, put Tennessee's dick back in your mouth for a second and just keep stroking it. We know how you feel.
They were horrible.
We know how you feel about Tennessee.
I was ashamed.
Sure, Ryan Tannehill isn't under the desk.
I think he is. Kyle Allen's been replaced, brother.
Kyle got hurt. We got to put Ryan.
I was hoping Indy was going to lose their game because they about did, but they didn't.
They about did. They about gave it away. But I'll tell you what. It's right now. they're tied, right? They're both. I think they're
Right.
both 8-4.
Yeah, but Titans must have a better because they beat them.
They
by
do.
more.
They
got
think-
the tiebreaker. They got the tiebreaker right now.
They have one less AFC loss.
That might
But I
be it,
I was looking at their schedules.
Oh yeah.
And they both have tough schedules. They listen. Yeah. Neither of those teams are going to win out.
No,
they're just not.
Right.
I don't know that Pittsburgh's going to win out.
They're not.
To be completely honest with you.
Well,
and
the way they played.
I got to tell you, man, the Chiefs.
They're sitting pretty right now with.
Yeah, but dude, I was so fucking mad on Sunday night. I was pissed for a couple reasons. Number one, Andy Reid screwed me in fantasy.
Me too.
Because he said he's playing. They suited him up. And when they went out to run on the field, he grabbed Edwards-Helaire and said, "No, I'm sitting you this game." He fucked everybody across fantasy boards.
Emergency purpose. If they had emergency.
Yeah, but they didn't say that until the game started. So they didn't even give us a chance.
No, that pisses me off because if I were Edwards-Helaire feeling bad and then kind of getting back into it.
And you work to get back.
Standing out in that fucking cold weather and then you fucking stand there the entire game, I'd have been mad.
Yeah, it's like,
they missed him. Because Bell was okay, but he wasn't great. I'd say they missed him in the offense.
They missed him. I'll tell you what, man. We better get our shit together. Our offensive line is not playing well, and that's a big problem because not that Mahomes is getting sacked because he's good at feeling the pressure, but he's having to roll out almost every play. And it's like, you guys need to block for this guy. But you know what? We have 3 starters out. Yeah. You know, Tardif, he opted out. Now we got Mitchell Schwartz, our right tackle. He's out, hurt. He's on IR. And then there's another one. I can't even remember the guy's name. So we do have 3 starters out. We had to bring Wisniewski back. He was on our Super Bowl run last year. So that's good. I'm glad to have him back. They've actually activated him onto the 53-man roster. But guys, I gotta be honest with you. As a Chiefs fan, I'm concerned. I really am. I don't know that they have the defensive firepower to take this back all the way.
But they continue to have the offense to pull it out.
They do.
They've just done whatever it takes to win.
But what worries me is that they won't.
Yeah. Well, no, any game they could slip again, just like they can against. But
New Orleans scares the shit out of me because they could score on a whim.
Isn't that the game I wanted to see them play in the Super Bowl?
Yes,
that's what I said.
Yeah, I think that would be the game. Seattle. I think you had New Orleans.
Seattle's not going to make it, and we all know that at this.
No, they don't even have a defense.
Leading into that, that's a great segue. What was a bigger shocker to you guys? Seattle getting handed to by New York, or Pittsburgh getting handed to by?
I gotta say New York personally, because I think Washington has, and clearly New York has been playing well too because they've won 5.
Washington,
they've won 5 of their last 6 games. New York has, but Washington has been playing well.
Both of them got a defense that showed up, and now now their offenses are finally showing up.
But the difference is, they have a better offense in Washington than New York does. Washington's going to win that division.
I agree.
They're going to win that. They proved it.
Their
defense could play. They're going to win it. And you know what? I'm happy because I'm an Alex fan.
Right.
The guy played for the Chiefs. He was a no, they're not going to go anywhere. But still, you got to root for the guy.
Right.
I mean, if they can beat a team like the Steelers, there's a chance they pull off an upset in the first round. They're not going to win the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
But
I agree.
They're playing well right now. And if you're a team that kind of slips into you get into the playoffs first round, do you truly want to play Washington? I mean, maybe.
Dude, I got to tell you, as a Chiefs fan, the one team I don't want to play are the Raiders.
Yeah, well, because
we already know that.
I don't want to play the Raiders.
I do after the way they played the Jets last week.
It doesn't matter, man. They play us so tough.
They're not going to make the playoffs.
Denver's no good, but they played us tough.
Their defense is clearly pretty good, and their offense played better than it's their running game. Our running defense is not as good as it was last year, and our passing defense is still bad. So we suck on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
You know, occasionally we make a nice turnover. That's what saves our ass because otherwise, and in this case, Drew Lock always throws a pick every game. Otherwise, we'd have lost that game. I hate to say it.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
So I was going to say something about. I was Washington. So Washington did beat Pittsburgh, but I think all of us felt like Pittsburgh was going to lose sooner or later. They were just primed. They kind of slipped. Just maybe what I'm worried about is, unfortunately, like the Chiefs, this is going to be their wake up call. and then they're going to come back next week and
I think the Steelers are in a serious skid right now. And if I
were a
Steelers fan, I would be very concerned because the last 3 to 4 weeks, they have not looked all that good. There's a couple other games they should have lost.
Guys, Connor's coming back this week.
They need him because that was very evident.
It makes a big difference because the last 3 weeks they haven't had him. And I'm just telling you, when he comes back, he's much better than Snell. Yeah. Snell obviously sucks. He cost me a goddamn win this weekend too.
Me too.
So
I loved it.
Yeah. I played the Bears defense against the Lions, and I got -2.
Yeah, I loved that.
Okay, how do you win when that shit happens?
Right.
But
not only did that you get -2, but the Detroit fucking beat the Bears, which I don't think any of us would have predicted. So
no.
I would have
maybe
taken
Evan, put your arm. You look at your picks, Evan. You're 2-3, so you.
I know. I go rogue all the time. That might have been one I took.
I go rogue once, and that's the one I lose. I'm like,
the goddamn Titans game. The way that started, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a really bad week for me because several of these games were not really going that well. And luckily, they kind of turned around for us. Bills were the only one that kind of had command the entire time, in my opinion. Well, New England, but it was okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But I was thankful. I really didn't, till I put this together, I didn't know how well I did. And I'm like, fuck. I knew I tagged Joe, but I thought we were like 3-2. Like, hey, we didn't do too bad. I only missed one game, and it's a game I'm going to pick a lot of the times. I'm going to pick Tennessee.
For some reason, I had been thinking that we picked the Washington game, and I was like, yes, I got that one. But I realized I only picked it on my parlay.
I was pretty sure about that. I'm like,
and I told you
parlay,
on the parlay, I said, Evan, I like that pick, Washington +10. Yeah. Because and that was a great pick. Who's not going to take that? Alex is good enough to keep it close.
Right. They weren't going to get blown out.
No.
I think Ev, you need to stop picking against the Bills in spite of them. Because
I know.
I thank you for that, by the way. I really appreciated that you did because I saw it. I saw once we got past the New England game.
I just thought
I'm like, Joe and I are the same, so it doesn't matter. I'm good.
That pick was more about the Niners. That pick was more about the Niners. I thought the Niners were going to play a little bit better than that.
I actually did too. I was actually disappointed in their performance. It was pretty shitty.
Yeah. I understand they had to move home stadiums. They had once I guess all that happened, it's sort of like, well, what can we expect from this team truly? But
so I hate to revel in somebody's misery, but do you guys feel a little bit satisfied that in regard to the Redskins that we kind of didn't think Haskins was a guy and the team really sucked till Haskins was no longer the guy?
We were right. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
I think everybody can.
And the bummer is he's not their future, nor is anybody they have on their team.
No, and I got to be honest with you. Where the hell does Haskins go? Does somebody pick him up and try to?
I don't.
Well, but I don't even know that he's that. He's a good athlete. So does somebody try to switch him positions?
Right. Make him a.
I just don't know.
He was drafted in the first round. I think
that's why they kept putting
somebody will pick him up, and they will try and at least make him a formidable backup. He has that potential. He's not. You're gonna tell me that he's. Maybe right now he's not as good as half the backups in the league, but he can't become a decent backup.
Did they win with him as a starter? No. I didn't think so.
Maybe one game, and it might not have even been this year.
He's slightly better than Colin Kaepernick.
Right.
He'll always have a position in the league, but he won't ever start again.
And do you mean Colin Kaepernick now or in his prime?
He only had 2 years of prime, maybe a year and a half.
But
it went to
the
shit.
Super Bowl.
So right, John, and he lost. And actually, Alex Smith took him to the Super Bowl. He won a couple games. It was kind of like Tom Brady. He gets credit for that whole first season, but it wasn't Tom Brady. It was Drew Bledsoe. He gets hurt, yes. Yeah, but Tom Brady stepped in and went and won the Super Bowl. He stepped in, won 2 games, and then lost the big one. And then he was shit after that. And when I say shit, this guy was bad. He was fucking horrible. People say, well, they won't sign him because he kneeled. Actually, I think they won't sign him because the guy just sucks. He sucked the whole year, and everybody's like, do we really want the headache of all this bullshit and he's not very good? No.
That's fair.
Yeah. But back to picks.
What's his face? Anyway, I'm going to move on unless you got anything more to say about these games.
I don't think so.
Everybody stared at them long enough, but I didn't want to move on until we got kind of past our discussion points on this because it's always a good place to do that.
Yeah.
All right.
One more thing on
one
more thing on the Titans Browns.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Ha ha.
Yeah. Good job. Hey,
nice job. Nice job.
I know.
Nice pick on the Chargers, pal.
I know. Well, that was one
my team did at least scored.
On my first 3 picks, I said I could go 0-3 on these.
Yeah. Well, you didn't.
I know. I got lucky.
So Joe obviously didn't gain any, and Evan lost.
I got some catching up to do.
I continue now. Evan, I could go completely 0, and you couldn't catch me now. You had a chance.
I got a couple weeks left. Don't worry.
I know. Well, the trend is not good. Joe is my enemy, and I got to just keep close with him.
We got plenty of time. Don't call it a comeback.
So back to fantasy football.
The bad thing is I'm going to have to pick some of the. I'm going to have to pick some of the bullshit.
Well, see, I thought about this. You guys made me pick first, and I'm like, this actually might be an advantage because if I pick the games that should win and they do win, the only way to catch me is to pick the underdog and hope that it works out.
Right, John. But if we pick the teams that should win, you're
still going to pick them.
Yeah, so I mean, at least there's a chance for us to go different from you.
You can try to misdirect me by picking the shitty team and hoping I pick with you.
John, if I went before you just pick everything that I picked.
But I didn't. If we went obviously, I haven't.
Right, but you could, and even if I went 0-5, I'd never catch you because we would just.
I didn't get this record by picking everything you did, but we do pick a lot the same. I'll give you that.
Yes.
So fantasy football. Evan went 0-3 2 weeks in a row, and Joe went 0-3 this week after having
yes.
Last week. And I actually sent these guys a text saying, "You motherfuckers better wear bags if you both go 0-3." And I go 3-0 for the second week in a row, and we all see they're not wearing bags. So
parlay winner. That's where the money's at. Let's go.
Yeah. So just to point out real quickly, I went 0-3 one time this entire year. You guys have went 0-3 3 times this year. So
congratulations.
Good job.
Congratulations.
Third time.
I will say when I brought out the bag, it was a one-time deal. It's like I went 0-3. Here's the bag. We all wore it once. There's no reason to wear the bag anymore. Yeah. You know we went 0-3. You know what the bag is. I don't need to wear it again.
Gotcha. Well, after going 2 weeks in a row, I before the show started, I was like, I think
if I didn't win that parlay, then maybe I agree.
He went 3-0 on the parlay. That kind of gives him a free slide. Congratulations on your 3-0, John, on fantasy. Evan, congratulations on your 3-0 parlay because that's hard to do too.
Those are not easy. So for the season.
Look at that losing record
for itself. Evan's now slipped to a losing record for the first time this year. He's got a chance to recover that, but he's you really. I mean, we're all playing this week. 2 of our leagues legitimately have another week of regular season, so you can get closer. The other one, you're in a consolation round already, and we're going to cover that in a minute. Evan could pull himself back out of that because of those 2 games. He could win them both, and he'd be definitely above or at least winning a tie, and he'd be 500.
Yeah. Right.
So I wanted to cover our playoff race. I got to move this because that's just in the way. I got to go backwards for a second and move because I think this is blocking my words, right?
We can see
it's all okay. There it goes.
Okay, so this is CBS. So this is our fantasy football playoff race, and so I wanted to just recap where everybody stood. Okay. And give the potential. So this is all of our worst league. This is CBS. Mm-hmm. As you can tell, the top 4 teams are in right now, and we're all. So I'm Kyle Allen, Ev's the fantasy football, and Joe is Hattie Daddy. So Joe's out. We already know that.
I'm out.
For me and Evan, and you can look at right over here is the matchups this week. So you 2 play each other. So Joe, you could be the spoiler by beating Evan this week.
Don't do that.
All right, you're going down, bitch.
You can ensure that he can't make it by doing that. Because for us to make it, as it says below, we both have to win. Not only do we have to win, but your buddy F. Dave has to lose, which I forget his name. It's not Dave.
No, it's Jared.
Columbia. So everybody above us, as you can see, Columbia and F. Dave have to lose because they have better records than we do, and the Broncos fan technically does too because they have a 6-5-2, so they're really a 7-6 team just like them.
Right.
They'd also have to lose, and then one of us Depending on if we both win, I'm in because I'm a half game ahead of Ev.
Yeah.
Yes.
If I lose and Ev wins and all those things happen, so our chances
I need
are
to win
good.
and some serious help.
Right. Let's see. So Dave has been on a 3-game losing streak, and he's playing Sugar Bear, who sucks. So who knows in that one? Let's see. Broncos fan played Steve.
FYI.
So I actually could do it. If I can beat Broncos fan, I'm in because it will take him out.
Christian McCaffrey's back this week.
Yeah. So hopefully Dave
for F Dave.
Anyway. Yeah.
He
I hope he gets hurt again quickly.
Yeah, he may, but I don't think he will.
Yeah, he might not. That
matter of fact, I think my prediction is that F Dave, if Christian McCaffrey does come back, he's going to win the whole fucking thing.
So if he wins, he's back. And Broncos loses to me.
Hold on,
he's in.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Aren't I technically eliminated because I need both you and Broncos?
You're out.
Fan
You're right.
lose?
I didn't even notice that we're playing each other.
That means I'm eliminated. I'm out. That's what I thought.
If we tied. No, you technically would have a chance if we tied. And you won.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
Actually, put a tie in there. Hold on. So
wait a minute. Who do I play this week?
You play Ev. So if you can beat Ev, we're good.
I knock him out. All right. You're going down.
Hold on a second.
I'm pretty sure I'm already eliminated.
I think he is too, actually.
I don't think I can
I'm pretty sure if we tied, you'd be in.
I don't know about
Maybe.
that.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
So you might be out, and I'm okay with that because I'm going to win, and I'm going to win my way into the league. That's all there is, or into the playoffs. Probably not. I've been terrible. I'm one of the shittiest teams in this. So my power ranking, I don't know if you noticed the power ranking. I went from like in the bottom somewhere to 4th. So the power ranking thinks I'm special.
Yeah.
I'm not in this league.
No.
So NFL, this is the league we're all doing the best, and unfortunately, you both lost this week. Otherwise, we were all shoo-ins in the playoffs.
Yes,
you gave guys life. So I've clinched it. I'm 1 game up. I can't. There's no way I can not make the playoffs, but I could not be number 1.
Right.
Because I'm not polishing with Kyle Allen. Hence the teasing of Kyle Allen for those that have. Part of the fun is them getting to see our names now, and they'll get to see. I obviously went with the Kyle Allen thing the whole time.
Right.
Joe is in at the moment because if you look at this, he is ranked fourth at the bottom. So he is in. All he has to do is win, and he's in, or he's got to have Supermax and Quarantine, which is Evan, lose. So Joe's likes it deep, by the way. For Evan, he's got to win, or he's got to have Supermax and likes it deep loss because they're a game up on him. So
basically, we both need Supermax to lose. Definitely.
You do. Right. You do. Right. And and Joe's, if Supermax loses and you win, Evan, Joe wins, we're good. We're back in.
All of us?
Because Stray Cats would be the only guy left. It's me, you. It'd be me.
So if Ev and I both win and Supermax loses, we're all 3 in.
Right, because yours is not an or. Evan, he needs, say either is Ev. If he can get one of those things to happen and win, right, he's got to have that win. Or if he doesn't win, he's going to have both you lose. It's one of those 2 scenarios to give him a chance.
Well, the good news in NFL
is come to a tiebreaker, which I didn't figure that out.
All my guys are back this week.
Yeah, James Conner will be back. That's definitely my strongest team. So.
And none of us play each other. I think we all play guys that have losing records as well. We do. Good. Or they're below us. I didn't even capture the guys. If you look at who we play, they're not on the list.
2-minute drill and your mom is going down.
Yeah, his name deserves to go down. Now, unfortunately, Supermax is apparently playing somebody not in the top either because we don't see his name. So
I'm playing Bobby Big Daddy Watson.
I do really. Okay. This is the league I wanted us all to make it because we've been doing so good so long. I mean, obviously I wasn't great. I've won 7 in a row to get here, so I wasn't a great team for a long time. You know, and Evan's got 2 losses in a row. Otherwise, he'd be kicking ass. But anyway, let's get this, guys. I want to play against you all in some playoff because we're not going to do it in CBS.
We're not going to do it in ESPN.
One of us might make it. One of us might make it. The other 2 aren't gonna for sure. I mean, and then this one, there's a good chance. And like I said, ESPN, we're already in the playoffs as of this coming week, and it's only 4 teams, and I'm in it. It's a 4-way tie. Then it came to tiebreakers.
You're cutting out on me.
I'm cutting out on you? Is that better?
No, that's fine. You're not cutting out on me.
Joe. Sorry, man.
Just Joe.
Yeah. Anyway, there's a 4-way tie because thank God I beat Joe's brother, who's been on a slide. Deal lost in Ohio. And I actually needed you two to win because not that you would have made the playoffs, you would have taken Hartford and Team Lehman. No, they would have been in still, but they'd have been 8-5, and they would have been there would have been clear 2 top teams and 2 third and fourths. Said we're all got the same record, and then it came down to tiebreakers. And if you look at the standings, I'm second, though. The league, if you look at like where they places at draft time to now, they say I'm third. So I don't know.
So you know what the good news is here, Evan? You and I only have one team to fix.
Yeah, that's where all our focus is going.
That's it.
Well, you're in that. There is a consolation round. I didn't.
Right. I mean, I'll set my lineup for this. But I'm not going to go.
I've said
right. You don't care. No, you. I think Joe cares about CBS to shut you down. Just to get, right. He wants to be a spoiler, so you got to fix yours. Because you want to try to make it. So that's do I. NFL, we all want to make it, so we got to play that one. And this one, you maybe don't care, right? Of course, this one you might not care at this point.
Yeah, we're like, man, whatever.
I
still set the lineup.
I'm really shocked it ended up where we had 4 teams all with the same record, based on where the season was. Honestly, I thought this is crazy. I wish that one went another week.
My brother's team is playing horrible.
He's lost 2 in a row.
Yeah,
3 in a row maybe. I don't know.
He's just not playing well.
Yeah. So I put together, and I talked about this last week, I put together our head-to-head. So I named it head-to-head, and I decided prick versus prick was better, and you could still call it head-to-head if you want. Same concept.
Right.
Think about it. So we knew this going into this season. You guys were in the same division a lot, so you played each other more than I did. And you actually got this week coming up that's going to give one more opportunity. So, Joe, you could get a little closer to Ev or not. But so all I did, so it's like week 6 in CBS, I won over Joe. That's what the W/ instead of with Joe. Though we were together in the game, but won over Joe. If you look at this, I kind of had Joe's number during the season.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Right, I beat Evan once. Evan had both of our numbers.
I was going to say I don't have a losing record against either of you.
No, right. You beat us both equally, and then Joe had your number. I mean, you guys went 500, and somebody's gonna have the winning this last game this week. Somebody's gonna get to say, unless you tie, gonna say I beat you more times. But it's really interesting, just that. And we kind of saw that as we went through it. We talked about it that one week. It's like, oh, you beat me. Like, Evan, you were beating me early in the season. And Joe. And then you kind of fell apart at the end. And it's interesting. But Joe, I mean, kicked your ass at the end. He back-to-back weeks in 2 different leagues. He beat you down. So anyway, I find it interesting. Like, who cares about the rest of the leagues? How did we do against each other? So parlay picks, like you talked about, Evan nailed it. So Washington, not only did they cover because they were supposed to lose, they won the game. Indy and New Orleans did fine in theirs. Goddamn Las Vegas, Joe, they fucked you again. I can't believe you went with them 2 weeks in a row.
Dirty bastards.
And they were getting beat by the Jets.
They should have lost.
They should have lost that game. And then, of course, Kansas City, while they won, did not cover the spread against fucking Denver at home, which was because they covered it away in Denver, but they couldn't cover it at home. It was
I do have to say that Evan was not necessarily the only 3-0er this week.
You won with real money.
Okay.
Congrats, Joe. Congrats. How much did you make on that one? Is it a 14-pointer or is that
No. This is a 3 straight. So it's actually a 3-0.
So you made some money.
$143 on that one. I also hit a 5-teamer.
Holy shit, look at you. Roll.
Yeah. So, Evan, while 3-0 on the screen looks pretty, this looks good in my pocketbook.
Yes,
I'm sure it does.
You should have picked some of those teams on your pick for the week.
Well, no, because we pick Wednesday. So by the time I pick on Friday, it'll be different. So whatever I pick today will not be what I pick Friday. Because these 9 players got sent to the fucking COVID reserve list.
Right.
It's like, well, I ain't gonna pick that team, you know.
So which on the 5-gamer, Joe, which team had you puckering the most?
The Raiders.
Oh yeah.
Last second fucking play. I had the Raiders -1.5.
Oh my god!
So without that last second play, that ticket doesn't go. That ticket doesn't go. And then
you got a nice spread on that one.
Yeah. So I had the Rams. The Raiders scared me. The Bills really never did. The Saints really never did.
No.
It got within 5. I had them at plus 4.5.
So you were like, come on. Yep.
But then I had the Colts. And they played the Colts stuff.
They about blew it at the end, and then they got that turnover.
But I had the Colts plus 3.5.
Oh, yeah. But they would have lost it by
they won by 4.
Oh, they'd have lost by 3 if they would have scored on them. Okay, so
yeah,
you would have been good regardless. So you were really pretty good. Yeah, so that Raiders game, thought you lost. You thought you lost it.
Yeah,
you were praying, and then they
and he threw a fucking Hail Mary the fucking Ruggs. It wasn't even a Hail Mary. The guy they blitzed.
Yeah.
It cost Greg
all out blitz.
his job. He lost his job.
I was going to say that if you didn't, yeah. Now, when are they going to get rid of the head coach? Because they just use that as an excuse.
I think that'll be at the end of the year.
I don't know that.
I think they're clearing house.
Gone.
Yeah, I think they're going to clear house.
Oh, stop it! He's gone at the end.
He's gone. I think so. I think they're just using whatever excuse they can get when they get one to clear house.
I think Woody likes him.
They're gonna just destroy.
You
that
can't go 0-16 and have a job the next year. I don't care. I don't care.
Get Trevor Lawrence.
I don't care if you're Bill Belichick. Yeah, they want you. You want Adam Gase to ruin Trevor Lawrence too?
No. You know what I would do if I was Woody? I would go to the Chiefs and get Eric Bieniemy to work with Trevor Lawrence.
If I were Eric Bieniemy, I wouldn't go there.
You know who they're talking about?
I would with Trevor Lawrence.
Have you heard the rumors of who they're talking about?
What's that?
Bill Cowher's name has been floated a few times for the Jets job.
That worries me.
If I were Bill, I wouldn't do that either. That's a Hall of Famer.
He wants to. He supposedly wants to. He's always been attracted to the Jets.
He wants to try to turn it around, and
of course, who doesn't?
And if you can give him Trevor Lawrence,
if you can, that's an ego stroker. That's for sure. You can't blame him for one. But if it doesn't work out,
listen,
you end a Hall of Fame career with a dud.
You come back for Trevor Lawrence.
He's a defensive guy, though. He's going to build a defense.
Well, he builds the defense. You build bring in somebody for the offense.
Nearly as bad as their offense because their offense is terrible.
Oh, it's
you don't he could bring in some offensive minded guys who he could get the top coordinators in the league who want to come in for Trevor Lawrence. You know what I mean? Like, so that's a scary situation.
I don't know. Joe Burrow is one man that's not playing right now. So it's just
he blew out his knee.
Can happen to Trevor Lawrence.
All right. So here's a question I have for this show. Mahomes, Tagliavola.
Mahomes every day of the week.
I mean, Miami's at home. You never know. Maybe Tua, goes off.
Give Tua a couple more years. I think it's more of a game.
Yeah. That's the thing. I mean,
I like the Dolphins' defense.
I do too.
They're good.
The shit out of me.
They're good. And their offense. Give them a few years.
They're pretty good, but they've proven it over the last few games. They're not good enough yet. Their defense is what's going to.
Yeah.
So if they can just destroy Kansas City's offense, then maybe. But I don't see that happening. Nobody's been able to destroy them yet. They got to score a lot of points to beat the Chiefs.
Now
the defense got to be good too, but you got to score a lot of points.
They do get Myles Gaskin back this week.
He was back.
They had him back last week.
He played this past weekend.
I picked him up, and I think they even played him.
I played him in one of the leagues too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, talking about picks, let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Of course, because I'm still in the lead, I had to make my picks. We decided to go with an extra game this week. Thank you guys. I picked the games, but there were so many I think important matchups. Whether or not they were the greatest matchups, they were important matchups, and so
I agree.
I wanted to try to showcase those, and we had to pick a couple teams that we like to have. Like we want to give Evan a chance to lose with the Patriots,
of course,
and we want to win with the Chiefs. So here we are.
Right.
So I picked the Rams. Ev or Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, Rams. I mean, fuck. Come on, yeah. I just they're gonna fucking destroy
their defense.
And you know what? And the Rams are pissed.
Right. The Rams have a better defense, or at least as good, but their offense is better than New England. That's why I'm saying they're going to win.
Yeah.
I think.
Please pick them. Come on, Evan.
I think you guys are underestimating the Patriots. I think you're underestimating the Patriots and overestimating the Rams.
I think you had it.
I think
you have a
both
good
of these
because
teams,
of that last week.
No. Here's the thing: both teams play to the level of their opponent. And
so it's going to be 0-0.
Yeah, quite possibly. I think Bill Belichick he's very happy to be playing Jared Goff this week. Let's just say that. I think Jared Goff turns it over 3 times and the Patriots win 21-10, something silly like that.
Thank you for picking them. I always like a freebie.
No, it's just I'm gaining ground with that one. I'm confident.
Dolphins. Yeah. Okay. Chiefs and Dolphins. Joe.
Chiefs.
Ev.
I'd love to pick the Dolphins, but I know that would be suicide, so I'm taking the Chiefs.
All right. Watch us all get this one wrong.
I know. We'll all go. We'll all get a loss.
I don't
there.
think so, but it could happen. We all said it scares us.
Bucks.
I'd like to see the Vikes win because that's my home
they won't.
team.
I got to go with the Buccaneers.
But I didn't pick them either.
If the Buccaneers lose this game, they're
in trouble.
They are in serious trouble.
Yeah,
and I don't
yes,
think...
they are. Colts.
Hey,
same thing I picked, Joe.
Did we not pick the Titans game this week?
No, because they're playing somebody worthless.
Oh.
That's why I would have loved to pick
I still would have picked against them. I'll be like, man, I'll take anybody who plays.
I'm going to cover the screen just for a second, just so I can see who it is, because I know you can't see this. But let's see, who did they play? It was not literally, guys. It was like
Jets.
Jaguars or something.
It might have been Jags. I think it might be the Jags. Yeah, and I'm like, this just is not. Yeah, it's the Jags.
Not a good match.
You would not have picked against him on the Jags.
No, not against.
That's why. Because I would have liked to. I mean, we've been kind of trending with a couple teams, especially, and they're a playoff contender. Obviously, they're leading the division, so it's an important game. But this is, I think, it's a gimme. So I just had to let it go.
Yeah.
I love the Raiders. I like picking them. But after seeing what happened last week against the Jets, I cannot go near them.
What
about last week and the week before that?
That's
a bigger deal.
2 weeks in a row.
They seem to be trending down since their Chiefs game.
That's
all there is to it.
They are.
And I don't know what's going to fix it.
I'm going with the Steelers. I think they're going to come out pissed. I think
it's a scary game.
I think Tomlin's going to have him ready.
I'm going to go with the Bills. Honestly, I think this.
It's not a bad pick. I mean, it really is.
That's a tough game. Of the game, there's 2 games I'm excited about: Chiefs, Miami, Bills.
I'd say Bills Steelers is.
I think they're both going to be fun games.
Yeah.
Could be. I mean, actually, I really am interested in the Ravens Browns. To me, this is going to be the defining moment for the Browns if they can win that game.
I'm going to go with the Browns. I really think their defense. I think their defense is playing well.
Yeah.
And I think so. Here's why. By the way, I don't disagree with you, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
The Browns win, and they've been winning on teams that don't have good defenses. Ravens have a good defense. That's why I picked them, because I think their offense is going to struggle.
The Ravens actually don't have a good defense. The Ravens have a better offense. Marcus Peters is deplorable. He gets burnt every fucking time. Just watch. I'm just telling you. They don't. If they had a good defense, they'd have a lot better record than they have. They get scored on, and the Browns can score, but even more so, the Browns have a defense.
They do have
defense. Their defense is just really good.
Ev?
I'm going to go with the Browns. I really think
not shocked. Yeah.
I think the Ravens are going to miss the playoffs.
Me too.
I think
they
definitely
could.
Even if they win, they could miss the playoffs.
Yeah,
they could.
But if they lose, it's over, and then
Cleveland I want the Raiders to lose and get them the fuck out of there.
Me too.
Get them the fuck out of it. I want them to lose at least
we all
2 of their last
them.
4. Yeah,
so Ev's got 1 different, 2 different.
You and I have 2 different.
So we're all 2 different apart. Okay, cool. That'll potentially close it up, or as I like to say, you guys give me more ground. It'll probably be we'll all split them, and we won't make any progress. It'll suck. Anyway,
it'll suck.
So I also did the playoff races. So I'm going to go back, if you guys don't mind, since we talked about.
Sure.
We talked about our fantasy football playoff, but we had one of our viewers actually asked on either Facebook or YouTube, can't remember which one, how the Vikings were doing, because that's their team and my team as well. That viewer happens to be my mother, so it made sense. And it made me think about it, because we haven't talked about the Vikings. We haven't talked about the Vikings because in general they suck. But they actually, as we'll get to the next slide, have a chance in the playoffs. So
it's the slimmest. It's the slimmest.
I know it is, but I'm like, this is, and it's probably this week will be the defining moment.
It'll be the end. Yeah.
This feels like a good time to talk about the playoff race, because of course the experts are doing it. We're at that point where it's getting interesting. For instance, as you see, the Chiefs have already locked a playoff spot. They're not necessarily a home field advantage or a division winner yet, but they have locked a spot in the playoffs. They're going to win their division regardless, but still they could, right behind them are the Steelers, right in the, so I had to make it fit on the screen, but the Steelers and Bills are basically sitting pretty, in my opinion. I think they're okay. And you guys feel free to give commentary. the middle, and of course the far right that are where the conversations are. Right?
Yeah.
Tennessee's leading, but they got the same record as Indian. We both know that's going to be tough. If you guys remember, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about what the experts were saying. They were saying the Browns were going to get in and Miami's not. And
Well, yeah.
I think it depends, right? If Tennessee and Colts can win and the Browns can win, Dolphins still got a good record, but they got to play the Chiefs this week, and they could just not make it because the other teams have good or slightly better records.
I'm going to throw this out there.
I know you said they're going to make it, Joe. So
I still think the Dolphins can win the division because I think the Bills are going to lose. The Dolphins are going to lose. That still keeps them one game apart, but they still play each other.
Yep.
They still play each other. So
I'm not saying it can't happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I really think it's possible. If they don't win the division, if the Bills win the division, which is probably what's going to happen, if they don't win the division, I think the Dolphins are out.
Yeah, unless the Colts or the Titans fall apart, right?
Exactly.
The Titans to fall apart otherwise, because one of those guys is going to get the division, so they're in. And then if the other team wins, right now they're all tied. So if these two teams, Titans are playing the Jags, good chance they're winning that game. They're up. Colts are playing the Raiders. That's a tougher game, but we think they're going to win, so they're up. The Dolphins, unfortunately, playing the Chiefs, they're losing. Yeah. And the Browns are playing the Ravens, which is a tough game. Even if the Browns lost, they're just now tied with everybody as far as record, so they're not in bad shape yet. So it should be really interesting. Then you got the Raiders, the Ravens, and Patriots, and we want the Raiders to lose because we're selfish about the Chiefs. We are not sure about the Ravens. Like I said, even if they win against the Browns, my pick, I'm not sure they're making it because that just gets them even with some of these teams that should win. And the Patriots, dude, you're fucked.
No, here's the thing.
We called them. I know you can say it. Go ahead. I'll let you.
Here's the thing with the Patriots.
Called them and they're out. By the way,
I was looking at what the Patriots' remaining schedule is, and if they can win against the Rams this week,
they won't beat the Rams.
They play Buffalo
again.
No. Hear me out. I think they will beat the Rams. Let's say if they were to beat the Rams, they play Buffalo, Miami, and I believe they play the Jets.
The Jets.
All division games.
Right. They're getting a hand me in the Jets.
So
they got a tough road
They hold
ahead.
the tiebreaker over both the Raiders and the Ravens. So if they can beat Miami,
if they lose one game,
they can lose one game.
If they lose one, they're done. I'm just telling you.
Game. Right. Look
Rams,
at the middle column.
Miami, or Bills, one of those teams will beat them at least. I think they're going to lose twice more.
The reason they can lose one game. I'm looking at the middle column. And what I'm saying
up on your team.
Well, no, what I'm saying is
only 7 teams in.
They can lose one game because if they were to beat Miami, Miami is probably going to lose to the Chiefs. Miami still has to face the Bills. Miami has the potential to lose 3 games.
Well, if Miami totally dropped it, you're right. The Patriots.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's not completely out of the picture. No. I'm not saying it's going to happen.
It is in our mind,
but it's
not in yours.
It's not as unrealistic as it seems. Everybody feels like they're dead.
That's why they're in the no. That's why they're on the list. They're here because they have a chance. And I actually cut this one shorter because any team after the Patriots, in my mind, even though they completely are on the bubble, they weren't worth talking about. MC has more teams that have a chance because of.
They hold the tiebreaker over the Raiders and Ravens, and if they beat Miami, they will.
Let me ask you this question.
I'm listening.
Do you believe if they lose to the Rams this week, they're done?
I would need to. Well, I think
they can lose one game.
They can lose one game.
Not a good sign.
It would not be a good sign. I'll say that. It would not be a good sign. Okay. They can lose one game, but that would not be encouraging.
He still is going to hope beyond all hope that they're going to make it because he has to.
He's a
but deep down, he probably knows they're fucked.
Yeah. And even if here's the thing, even if they make the playoffs, I don't think they're going anywhere in the playoffs. No, I'm not saying they're going far, but
he'd like them to make the playoffs. Otherwise, it'll be the first time they didn't make the playoffs. And how many years have? How many years has it been since they didn't make the playoffs?
It's been a long time.
Long time.
2008, I believe.
Last year was the first year they didn't win in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's so
been a long time.
Hey, John,
and this year they're going to not make it. Right?
You can never count out Belichick.
John, next year. Or not next year, next week. I want to see this graphic, but I also want to see our picks, who we chose to win the division in each, who we picked to win the West. the South, the North.
Okay, I can do
right?
that.
Because that would be cool to see this and be like, man, I picked them to win.
Yeah, close, right?
What the hell? You know.
Well, when we picked the Ravens, a lot of us,
right?
I mean, we're at least saying they're going to make the playoffs, and they very likely won't.
And they may not. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if they beat the Browns, they have a better chance than.
Patriots no doubt. No
right,
doubt.
because that's something, and it kind of levels that division up a little bit. But yeah, it's because Miami's now in trouble. Now they're tied. So we'll see. Anyway, that's fun to look at. There we are for those that don't know. Whatever, who's already in for sure? Chiefs, Steelers, Bills. I mean, that in my mind, the far left, those guys are all in. It's just where.
Yes.
And personally, I really think that the Titans, Browns, and Colts are fairly safe. To me, it feels like it's a race between the Dolphins, Raiders, Ravens, and Patriots for that final spot. Yeah, I really think that's what it's all about, what it's going to come down to, based on who's playing who.
Don't disagree.
I agree.
That's sort of what it feels like.
Right.
I agree with that.
Yeah, because I think the Colts' schedule gets easy after the Raiders.
Yeah, exactly. So, same with the Titans, and the Browns are 9-3. They're gonna.
They can actually take a loss and still be okay.
If the Raiders lose to the Colts, they're done.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Any of the teams in the far right, if they take a loss this week, they're pretty much out.
They're done.
I mean, they got a slim chance in hell, but they need all these other teams to lose, and obviously their records aren't indicating they're losers in general.
Right.
All right. So now NFC. I opened this one up. I got to move this over again because the East is so bad. There's so many choices. Right. So the Saints already locked it up. Good job, John, on picking them. Packs going to be in. The Rams, who knows? Honestly, even though the Rams are in the far left, I think of any team, if they were to shit the bed against New England, they're in. They still should be in, but they got a risk.
They could be in
trouble. In me and Joe's opinion, they're winning that game. Right. The Seahawks should have been there, and man, they are in trouble. But they should make it just because of their record.
They play the Jets.
Right. They got this week. They should. Though we said that against New York. So, and Las Vegas might tell you the Jets are better than they were.
Yeah.
If Adam Gase could get fired, the Jets might win a game, because as Joe's pointed out, all these teams that fire their coaches, their team turns it around.
Look at Atlanta,
except for Washington, but he had cancer.
Look at Houston.
Look at Houston, right?
No.
Yep. No, you've nailed a couple of them. So, Detroit. Look at Detroit.
Yeah.
Patricia out, they win.
Exactly.
So, are you dude, now I'm sorry, but I've got them in 2 of my parlays this week.
Detroit?
No, the fucking Packers. If they can't beat the fucking Lions, something's wrong.
Right. They should. I don't expect them to win this week, but
no, yeah.
Right. It just the fact that they won against a tough team. Really, Chicago's not a walkover there. So anyway, we got the Giants right now, first in their division, but they're tied record with Washington, and as we said, that's the one that's going to be interesting.
Yes.
Right. Giants are playing the Cards, who've fallen mightily. And
I think that'll be a close game.
Right. The Cards got to win. If they can't win this, they're done, guys.
They're done.
And we've said they're going to make it. The Giants, I think that's going to be a really tight game. I'd like to pick it, but it's just kind of like, I mean,
where do you stop?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You got to stop with some of these. They're not winning teams. Why are we picking them?
Right.
Seahawks, they should win. They should come back around. Tampa should win. They should stay. They should make the playoffs. Unfortunately,
Vikings should be done. They're
Vikings.
Gone.
Well, here's the thing. Right. They got to win. If they win this game, they're in. But they're facing some tough competition here.
Let's say the Vikings lose, and we have Arizona.
And everybody
Arizona
on the right
just
loses.
take their spot. Yeah, all the teams on the right are probably.
What if Arizona lost and the Bears lost and the Lions? We think are going to lose.
It feels like there's less teams really competing in terms of who's getting like a spot in the NFC. I think it's really just
to change a bunch. Yeah,
I think in terms of the actual teams, what we're looking at is maybe Washington takes over the East, but I think it's really just the final spot is between Minnesota and Arizona, and whoever because none of those other and none of those other teams are coming up to the playoffs. You kidding me? The Bears, the Lions.
No, with exception.
That's it. If you look at the matchups here, you got Washington playing the Niners. So really, it's whatever team there wins it got a better chance.
Right.
Yes.
to continue on. I think of any division, conference. Sorry, division.
Yeah.
This one's pitchers might change the most over the next couple weeks. I think,
no doubt.
I mean,
no doubt.
Evan thinks it's maybe 1 or 2, but again, it could. I mean,
I think teams
Seattle
fall
could
off.
continue to lose. Seattle could continue to lose, and then wow, all of a sudden, Niners or Cardinals are right up there getting in. So you never know. But yeah, some key matchups: Giants and Arizona. Whoever wins that game's got a much better chance than the other. Niners, Washington, Vikings, Bucks. It's like these are the ones that are going to kind of spell out what's going to happen moving forward from this week. I'm dying to see what happens and get to next week. To be honest.
Yes.
It's
always fun. This time of year, pretty soon we're going to have football on Saturdays. We're going to have football on Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll have a day off on Friday.
Hey, I want to go back to the parlay real quick. Matter of fact, we got to pick our parlays because we're really going long. But I will say this. I also hit a 5-teamer in college.
Oh, nice. You're having a good betting week.
Dude, are you finding all of these?
Tell me some Powerball numbers while you're at it.
Yeah. No shit, right? Dude, I tell you what, man, I'm waiting for you guys to come out and we could just all go to the casino and watch football all day and bet.
I'm
Would
ready.
that be fun?
I'm ready. Hey,
I'll
be close to you soon.
That's what I mean. Are you shitting me? It's like we got that. We're going.
I'm the poor bastard that's way on now.
Well, John, you'll now that we're both out here, you just come this way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Joe, I will be. Yeah. The plan is to be there around Christmas. Not that. So if you swing down.
Well, Evan's going to be here.
I'll be around. I'll be there around then. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we'll all meet in the middle.
Yeah, I think we should converge.
But it probably will depend, Joe, to be honest. If I leave Topeka, it will depend if my parents want to have guests or not. If they don't, we'll have a little more free time. If not, you know how it is. We'll be spending time. Because my brother's also there. My kids are there. It's hard to disappear if
there's a lot of people to see.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And my parents didn't come for Thanksgiving, so I haven't seen them in quite some time. Actually,
makes sense.
And I wouldn't blame them. I wish the damn
COVID would go away.
Not that, just that, but the medication. What do you call it? Vaccine. I couldn't think of vaccine. The vaccine was out. People were getting inoculated. They were proving it was being better. The risk would be lower. But
I think the frontliners will have it this month.
Oh yeah. But not my parents. So
no, but they'll have it by the first of the year, I think.
Right, but if they could just if we could have got it in place and felt good about it before Christmas, then you would think it's worth the risk. But now it's like it's not going to heal you once you get sick, right? You got to get it before you get sick. Yeah. So you can't take that risk. No, so anyway, parlays. I made mine, but I'm not in the lead. Evan is, so he's actually got to pick them, and then we can go from there, right? Or at least pick one of them. I think he's got to pick.
I got my 3 picks, so I'll
go ahead, Ev, shoot.
I always get them ahead of time. So first game, you guys aren't gonna like this one. I'm taking New England versus the Rams. New England, I saw getting 5 points. So plus
Who's that?
5. New England versus the Rams.
You can have that one all day long.
Yeah, they're getting 5. Yep.
Yeah, getting 5.
I think that's what I saw too, but I'm scrolling to look. Yes, I would confirm the same thing. So great. I'm glad you picked it. Right. Now you could still lose and get that parlay. So that's not a bad choice from that. I think it is going to be a close pick. In fact, on my parlay thing, I did not pick that game, Ev, because I didn't like the 5-point spread.
Right.
I think it could be a 3-point game. It could be a 3-point game. Yep.
It feels like a 3-point matchup in my opinion. So
okay. Next,
I'm going with Washington versus San Francisco. Washington plus 3.5. That's what I saw.
Yeah. Let me see here.
Wondering why I didn't go after that one. I did not pick that game either, and I must not have just liked.
I mean, I think Washington wins outright.
I got 3.
I'm showing them 3.
I'll take plus 3. That's fine.
It worked for you last time.
I really like that pick a lot.
It could be a great pick.
Actually,
yeah, I just didn't take it for some reason. As you talked about, I'm like, yeah,
I like that pick a lot.
And my last one is New Orleans, Philadelphia. New Orleans is -7. Now it's scary.
I took that one.
Here's the thing. Yeah. Jalen Hurts is starting this week.
I know, and I love it.
I'm interested to see how he looks with a full week of practice, game planning him in. Is that team going to turn it around?
It makes me
because Carson Wentz has just been awful.
Right. Did you think Jalen looked all that bad when he finally got to play more than one snap? I didn't.
He did. He looked pretty good.
Yeah, but just wait.
I need him to show up and be awesome the rest of the year so I can be right. That's all I want.
I want to say wait until he goes up against the New Orleans defense.
Well,
yeah,
I'm still picking New Orleans -7.
I mean,
you did take New Orleans. Okay,
I'm still taking New Orleans.
I took that matchup too, but you never. This is one of those you don't know. This is that
right.
This is that anomaly that could show up, and you're like, "Fuck, why did I pick him? I didn't realize Jalen was that good."
Yes,
but their defense isn't that good. So they're fucked.
Yeah. Yep.
Is Drew Brees coming back this week, or we still have Taysom?
Who cares?
I think it's still Taysom Hill.
Good.
He has. He's been good.
I mean, 2 touchdown passes this last week.
No, he's coming back against the Chiefs next week.
That's a great time to do it. I mean, but they'd even be more dangerous. I would still, either player, I would have picked New Orleans on this one.
Yeah.
But Joe, who do you like?
Definitely.
So, yeah, I'll go, or I can go. It doesn't matter. Who do you want?
No, I can go. I'm good. I'm going to take the Falcons -2.5 against the Chargers.
I saw that. I like that one.
They've been playing good lately, so that's not a terrible pick.
They have.
I stayed away from it because that one's too up in the air, in my opinion. Those teams are both so volatile.
Especially after the shellacking the Chargers took this past weekend.
I think Anthony Lynn is out the door.
I think so too.
Gone.
They're saying he'll make it to the end of the year. But that's
yeah. I'm going to take the Colts -3.
Joe, I took that one.
That's a pretty good one.
Over the Raiders. I picked that one as well. I went with the Colts, Joe. You should be proud.
I am proud of you. And then I'm also going to take the Texans -1.
I did see that, and I almost
was
picked that
contemplating that one. I don't dislike that pick. Again, 2 not consistent teams. I just decided to avoid it. So they are -1.
There is
almost a pick me. Really.
There is another game that I like. And I like the Panthers over the Broncos. Now, I didn't put it in here because it's -4. But if Christian McCaffrey comes back and Teddy Bridgewater is back, watch the fuck out.
Because
those boys, their defense is really good. And you put those guys, Robbie Anderson comes back. Oh, fuck, dude.
I just didn't like the 4-point spread because Denver's running game you got to admit.
I'm not worried about the running game.
Right. Melvin Gordon's running pretty good. I know they are. What
I worry about is
and Denver's team's pretty good. Yeah. No, I'm just saying the running game would help control the game a little bit, and maybe keep it somewhat close. And their defense is pretty good.
I think the Panthers' defense is.
I think they got a better team.
Stop the run.
Yeah.
And then they could stop the run. Well, if you do that, now you force Drew Lock to pass the ball. Plus, if you're scoring at will with Teddy Bridgewater and McCaffrey, they ain't going to be able to run the ball. They're going to have to pass just to keep up.
Yeah, I got to go find it. I think what league? Basically. One of them, I thought it was a running game that Carolina, So Carolina's, according to ESPN's fantasy site, Carolina's given up, it's the 27th worst team against the run, at least in fantasy. So,
really?
Yep. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
Wow.
Yeah, you would think they'd be good, but if you think about it, on the teams they've played, like Minnesota, man, that was a battle, and they got a good running game and a good passing game, so they could do both. I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look at the stats. Was Dalvin the better player, or Thielen, or Jefferson? Right, but I think the teams they played tough didn't have a running game. So
yeah,
so
I would say they didn't have Christian McCaffrey. He's only
that helps too. I mean.
Obviously
they are a fringe playoff team if McCaffrey is there the whole year. Like they're
they're
fighting for a wild card. They're fighting for a wild card.
They would have been a much better team. Yep.
Yes.
Absolutely. Because their defense was pretty solid.
Matt Rule is not worried about his job. I can tell you.
No, not with all the injuries. They can't blame shit on him.
No.
His teams played pretty good.
All right. Joe Judge is pretty damn safe too.
Now he is.
On back next year. Shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was looking dicey for quite some time.
And he did it with Colt McCoy.
Who would have thought that we'd be at this point of the year and we'd have Washington and New York Giants as the 2 division leaders?
Yeah, because if Philly should have did it, but they stuck with the wrong guy.
Because we thought Haskins was going to be the fucking
star. It's not over. Philly could come back. Hurts could bring Philly back.
Stop it.
What are they, game? Are they a game or a half a game? Are they a game or a half a game behind?
Now, if it was Jordan Love, I would say hell yes, but now
game and a half.
I call Jalen Hurts making the most impact this year.
They only
hope
have
they see
3
it.
wins. The Philly has
We'll
3
see.
wins. They're not coming
They have a
back.
tie. They have a tie.
Yeah, but they have.
Oh,
3
so they're a
wins.
game and a half behind.
They're a
That's
game
right.
and a half behind.
That's right.
So
John,
They're done.
they need both
They're
those
done.
teams to lose. They need
They're
both
done.
New York and Washington to lose, and they need to win, which is
They
not
are
going to
done.
happen this week
What are
against
your
Green
picks?
Bay.
What are your
So
picks?
I picked Indy along with you.
Okay.
I picked New Orleans along with Ev. This is weird that we do that a lot.
Yeah.
And I went with these guys again after they fucked me last week. I'm taking the Chiefs -7 over Miami.
Yeah, okay.
I'm
That's
a homer.
tough one.
I know it is.
That's
Okay.
a
I'm
tough one.
I got it. We're there. I know it's a
Okay.
tough one. I had to pick it. I'm just wanted to show my support for the Chiefs.
I told you last week.
I know
don't
you
do
did.
it. I said, don't
You
do it.
can tell me again. And
You
if I
know,
miss it,
Don't do it.
Here's the thing. I think
I took
Well,
him
I
in my
think-
tease.
Miami has a chance.
I mean, I'll
think
take a
that-
pick 'em.
I
Yeah.
really think Miami has a chance to win that game outright. I think the Chiefs don't cover that spread.
It's
This is gonna be a
possible.
close
The
game.
spread's
This is-
tough.
This is the best
I've been
defense.
shitty with parlays, but I've got
This
one of
is
them.
the
this
best
year, so.
defense the Chiefs will have faced all year. In my opinion, there's
Tampa's
the-
was pretty good.
Miami's is
Okay.
Miami's is the best defense in the NFL right now. The way they
Yeah,
are playing,
you're
the way
right,
they're
they are.
playing.
It's pretty damn close. I would say that's pretty legit.
The offense it's coming along.
That's what's
but-
going to do
Yeah,
Miami
right.
wrong in this game is that the defense is going to be on the field a little bit too much.
Unless
that's
they,
my
unless they
call.
can turn it over.
No,
can
they
take it
they
away.
could enough times and control the game.
possible.
It's possible, but the
I just
Chiefs are going to
don't-
drive
I don't
that
like it.
ball up their
I don't
ass.
think it's more
over and
than. I don't think they win by more than 7.
I'm
That's
cool
the
with
thing.
that. I realize this was a risky pick, but
That's
I'm
a
going
risky
for it.
pick.
That's
I-
possible.
I respect it though. I respect it.
It's not a bad pick.
No, 7
it's
points. 7 points is doable, man. So, Ev, I got a favor to ask you, but you don't have to do it if you're going to do this episode because I think it's your turn if you want to do it. If you would name the episode 30+1, you would make me very happy.
30+1. Okay.
Yeah, because it would be
All right, I can do
3
that.
and 0 twice.
Oh. All right. Now
So-
I'm gonna have to consider it, but I might
Right.
still do it.
It's a +1. See, now you understand why. Yeah.
Okay.
Joe doesn't get it. I just
No, I get it.
I'm
I
so
just
happy with my-
I just hate it so much that just call it episode 31. Don't even give him credit. Just say episode 31. Nobody cares.
Hey, by the way, congrats on 30 and now 31 once we get this recorded. And
Yeah.
Yeah, 31 episodes.
pretty soon the season will be over, but we might as well enjoy it. What are we going to get to? About 40, probably?
Yeah, probably if we're
with the
counting
playoffs, with the
yeah.
playoffs, if we do.
That's
And,
about right.
and the Vegas show. That's pretty good.
yeah. It's not too bad.
Someday
All right.
we'll release our episode 0 if we
Oh,
have
yeah.
to. Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And then the draft show that nobody will watch.
Nobody.
L 4 hours.
It's,
All right, guys.
Yeah, it's a long. Yeah, it sucked.
Yep.
All right,
Take care.
boys.
Later.
All
Have a
right.
good one. Peace, man.
See you guys.
Later.